Awesome. Hi, I'm Aya. I'm your moderator. Welcome to the JJK panel. It is so good to see you. All right. We're going to introduce our guests today. I know you're really excited to meet them. First, we have Anna Yakata. Now we have Adam MacArthur.
I was widowy hitting the gwitty at MomoCon.
And we have KG Tang.
We brought all our luggage.
I brought my breakfast.
Oh my God, you guys got coffee? I got water.
It's the same.
I'm not caffeinated at all.
That's what you get for being on time.
I know, it's terrible.
This is a chai latte because coffee is too spicy.
All right, thank you for coming to this lovely panel with these lovely guests. Do you guys mind introducing your amazing characters that we're all very happy and excited to see?
Oh, sure. Hi, guys. I'm Ann Yatko, and I voice Nobara Kugisaki.
My name's Yuji Tadori. I'm into girls like Jennifer Lawrence. It's an honor.
And hello, everyone. I'm KG Tang, and I voice Satoru Gojo. Right.
The strongest. He's so sexy.
TEH, strongest.
He's so sexy.
The sexiest. Well, once again, thank you guys for joining us here at
Yes, of course.
MomoCon. We very much appreciate it, and we're glad to have you here.
Aw.
So, one of the first questions that I would like to start off with is, so JJK is a very amazing anime to work on and be a part of. But what aspects of this anime do you think sets it apart from other like shonen anime that are out, such as, My Hero and Demon Slayer?
The fact that Jennifer Lawrence is in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. J-Law's canon.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's the women. I think the women of Jujutsu Kaisen stand apart from all other shonen. No offense.
I think Sukuna would agree. It's the women.
Yeah. Where's Ray?
And with it being a horror anime, how do you think but what are your takes on like the horror aspect of how it like very well fuses into that action and somewhat teenage drama like lifestyle that this anime portrays?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start. One of the things that grabbed me from watching even the first episode, I was like the body horror, like just the way they animate, the way the curses kind of like morph and evolve is so interesting. Like I dug it, but I think it also kind of like ties into like the concept that curses are born from what people fear. So like that morphs and that changes depending on like the climate of society, and like that's like on a philosophical level, like that's cool.
I want to apologize in advance. I'm a massive scrub, and I'm having a hard time hearing the question from over here. Could you repeat that one more time?
Oh, of course. I was asking, the JJK is a horror anime.
Yes.
So how do you interpret or see how that horror infuses with the classic anime style that is shonen?
Yeah, and there's a lot of really neat almost Junji Ito-esque panels in JJK, right? I'm convinced that Gege, if he were not drawing JJK, would be one of the premier horror mangaka of our time. If he really put the time in, right? I really hope that after JJK, we see that from him. That I really want to read a horror anthology from Gege. But yeah, it's when you read horror manga and when you read JJK, there's so many parallels. The way that these cursed spirits or demons or whatever you want to call them are designed, you see a lot of in more traditional Japanese horror mangaka. The way the limbs are twisted, the way the faces are designed. You really feel like you're in, like I said, like a Junji Ito kind of world. And the way that he incorporates shonen into it, I just think is absolutely fantastic. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think it also like shows off the horror more, that we have something to compare it to that's not horror. So you have like, you know, happy-go-lucky at the beginning. Teenagers, you know, like
It's
everything.
like happy-go-lucky when.
Yeah, you know, well, they at least smile, right?
Yeah, that's
they at least smile sometimes, for now. They smile, but then you have it juxtaposed with this stuff. I mean, like the perfect example of how it's intertwined in shonen is Junpei. Take a little second for our homie there. Hold on. A little moment of silence. Pour out one for
No.
He should have just come to Jujutsu Tech. You know what I'm saying? But that's like the perfect example is you see him in the opening, and literally it's like the meme of Junpei is, we were duped. Like you see him in the opening or the ending, you know, and he's like all happy, he's like chilling with everybody.
We
You're
were
like,
gaslit in season
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
really
absolute
hard.
it's like, oh,
gaslighting.
who's this gonna be?
Yeah.
And then his body's morphed and he turns into freaking hungry hippo, tries to kill Yuji, and it's just horrible. No one wants to get killed by Barney. That is true horror.
Hungry Junpei.
Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it when your new friend just turns into a monstrous
hungry
hungry
hippo?
hippo?
Yeah.
I hate
The
that. I hate when it
worst.
happens.
And look, you know, a lot of voice actors will be like, oh, I'm not my character. But no, I feel personally offended. He tried to stab me. I told him to come to Jujutsu Tech. Rest in peace, my friend.
Speaking of Junpei, and with the emotions that, like, obviously everyone felt with that character, worst troll ever. What do you guys think of, like, as fans and as voices of these characters in this show? How do you guys interpret how the JJ crew interacts and the relationships that they built with each other, whether it be in the manga or in the anime? But like, and also just how they contrast each other. Yuji is a very like happy-go-lucky, the goodest of boys. Kurosaki's very like, she's very powerful, strong, and like her personality is it's strong, but it's also very mellow. She's like an emotionally stable individual, which is kind of difficult to find in the show. And then there's Gojo, who is as funny and laid back as he is. He really does make an effort to like treat these kids as kids, let them be kids, and then be like, okay, now it's time to get serious. So all those different characters are fusing in with each other and having these interactions, and you also have to like remember they're individuals. How did you guys work with interpreting that as fans and as voices of these characters?
Anybody want to start?
No, go ahead, because I didn't actually hear the actual question. Can you repeat the end part? Sorry, it is hard to hear.
No, it's good. I might have to eat my mic more. My voice is soft. I was asking, so all of these characters have their own personalities and they have their own connections with each other.
You just said something about how they interact, like what?
Yes, how do you guys feel, like how did you guys work with that connection when you're fans of the show as well as voices of the show?
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
I think as narrative devices, the relationship between these kids is really, really interesting. The way the manga is set up and the way the first season of the show has gone is, you know, the first season really, really focuses on building the relationship between these three kids, right? And it does it in a way where you, as the reader, expect that it will continue to go on like that. Like we will see a continued evolution of these relationships, and then I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but I tell everyone season 1 of the show is the most normal this series ever gets, right? So I joke with my wife all the time. JJK is the only manga and the only show I've ever seen the fans beg for filler.
Yes.
Like, I just feel like we were cheated out of the shopping arc with Nobara, you know,
Yes.
and then Yuji and Megumi. I feel like there's so much unsaid stuff that these three kids share that we aren't privy to, because that's not the story, right? The story is what happens around these characters and what happens to these characters and what happens between them. We sort of almost have to use our imaginations after a certain point. The relationships are developed, they're solid, and then the story moves on. So we're left with this like want of like, Oh
wanna
my
see
God.
more. Yeah.
I want to see them go to a movie. I want to
Yeah.
see them shop. I want to see them play Smash Brothers. I want to see Nobara's main. You know, like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff. They mentioned she plays Smash and she's great at it. I want to see that, but it's almost more. I don't know. Maybe poetic is not the right word, but it's a very interesting and very valid and respectable artistic choice to leave that stuff up to the viewer and the reader.
Yeah.
And as we move on to the more important parts of the story.
It's really cool because in a lot of like Western media these days, like everything is totally over-explained.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we need a line to let the audience know. Like they
Yeah.
treat the audience as if they're like not intelligent enough to put two and two together. And I do think that one of the reasons, like going back to your very first question about like what sets it apart, like the fact that Gege does that and lets the reader put
Two and two together.
two and two together, or just like add what your own interpretation is to certain parts of it, is really cool.
Yeah.
I also really like, in terms of like the relationship dynamics, with each character, it's so specific. Yuji's relationship with Gojo is not the same as it is with Nobara, is not the same as it is with Megami, is not the same as it is with Sukuna. Like all this stuff is very different. And also another thing that I find really, really cool is, especially now, like going into season 2 where we're gonna get Gojo's backstory, and then some of the stuff we saw in the prequel in the movie in JJK Zero, we're starting to see parallels. So we're starting to see like parallel relationships, like, oh, Yuji and Megami's relationship is similar to da-da-da and da-da-da. Like Gojo and Geto have had a relationship, and I think we're gonna start seeing parallels to that. And it's almost like, oh, I wonder if like Megami and Yuji are sort of like the Geto and Gojo. Like if you're reading the manga, like seeing where things are going and stuff like that, it's really cool to see potential parallels that were drawn and seeds that were planted from really early on in season 1 that are now, if you're reading the manga, are like kind of changing, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah, and like, kind of jumping off from where these two left off, I think what's really cool is even though you don't see a lot of things that happen in the background of the story, you do get enough information just from the quality of their interactions that tell you how their relationships are changing.
Yeah.
Like between episode 3 when Nobara first meets Yuji and Megumi
She calls me a potato.
yeah, versus the way she and Megumi and Yuji treat each other by episode 24 is markedly different. And you do see the progression. You just don't see all of the little, like, you don't
Yeah.
see them playing Smash, you don't see them doing, all these things, but you do get to see the progression. And it's so cool to see it naturally progress, even if it's not always explicitly stated.
What's cool too is like they go through a lot of trauma together, and
Yeah.
if you've ever been through something difficult with someone in your real life, especially if you like don't know them very well, you immediately have a bond, and I think that they're bonded very quickly. And to your point, like when Nobara first meets Yuji and Megami in
She is not impressed.
yeah, she's not impressed. But that conversation that Yuji and Nobara have at the end of episode 24, when basically after their fight with the brothers, Yuji's like, hey, are you okay? But he's not asking because he doesn't think Nobara's okay.
No.
He's asking because
He's not sure if he's
if
okay.
he's okay.
Yeah.
And like they have that kind of like, I mean, it is like an intimate conversation, like about feelings basically.
Yeah.
Which is a much different place than where it started. And we're only 20 episodes later, which is in a time span of the show is not that long.
It's not very long. Yeah.
We really know our show.
We really like this show.
Yeah, we
I don't
really
know
like
if you
it.
can tell.
Yeah, we're also fans of the show.
Yeah.
So, fun question. If Yuji, Gojo, and Kurosaki, and Megumi, if you're wanting to answer for him, if they weren't fighting cursed spirits and didn't go to Jujutsu Tech, what, like, job or, we're going to say college course or degree, whatever, would they pursue or go after? What would they be doing?
Camming. No, I'm kidding. I mean, he'd be pretty good at it, though. Let's just be honest. Let's see.
I feel like Yuji would like accidentally be like a Major League Baseball star. Yeah, he would like accidentally be doing something really amazing and not even realize what he had. Or he wouldn't like know that he's on like a $36 million a year contract. He'd be like, wait, I get paid for this?
I thought that was just for fun. I feel like Kugisaki would be, she'd be like a vlogger. She'd be like a TikToker. She'd be making money doing like videos where she like goes and eats desserts or like, she's probably like does DIY stuff because she's handy with a hammer.
But it would be like her at would be like the pissed off foodie.
Yeah.
I feel like
She's gotta have an angle.
She'd be like, oh, this dessert's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like Gojo would do something similar. He has to involve TikTok somehow. You know, a 100% influencer. Like,
He has no videos on his page, but he's famous on TikTok from trolling other TikTok
yeah, that's
accounts.
right. Yeah. He just ends up on like
His
no
would only
bars.
be his TikTok would only be stitches.
No, and he only ever writes ratio.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Speaking of all of these amazing different jobs, you guys obviously have so many different skills than just voice acting. Adam, you do a lot of martial arts.
Yeah.
Question, do you think you could beat Yuji in a fight? Like
Yes,
no
because
Black
he's
Flash.
not real. Boom.
Like no Black Flash, just straight up hand-to-hand combat.
Straight up hand-to-hand combat. Well, he's still a cursed vessel, so like bro's strong, but he's also not real. No offense. Someone's gonna get mad at me for that comment.
What do you mean Yuji's not real?
He's
What,
not
gonna
real
get
to
mad
me.
at you for spitting facts?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ann.
No problem, I got your back.
And so you actually do a lot of work with just women's like empowerment, and I find that beautiful and amazing. And how does it feel to like be in that field and then play a character who was like criticized for her feminine ways or her lack of femininity, at least in the show, and be like, I'm beautiful no matter what I'm doing, and then to get like best anime girl of 2020
Yeah.
too. How does that feel? And like did that like boost up some of that obvious woman power confidence?
Yeah, no, thank you. We need women like Kugisaki, right?
We do.
It's funny, I
Just like
talked
stabbing people with hammers and stuff.
Yeah, just need more
We
women
need
like
that.
that. No, that's. Don't clip that. No, I think what's funny is I talk to a lot of people who will come up to my table and they'd be like, when she first showed up, like I didn't like her, and I was like. And I always want to be like, well, why didn't you like her? What about her rubbed you the wrong way? Is it just because she said what she wanted to say? Because she didn't care what anyone thought about her opinions? Because she was a strong, independent, like fully formed woman just walking into the scene? Like, I think she was perfect from day one.
Because she called Yuji a potato. That's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. No, but even if it rubbed you the wrong way, I think that's just because you weren't used to seeing that kind of woman. You know what I mean? Like that's different, and it's uncomfortable, and what's I'm looking for? Having to wrestle with that uncomfortableness is where growth happens, right? And so then people tell me, okay, I didn't like her at first, but then by X part of the show, then I understood. Then she was my favorite character, and I'm like, that's right, you grew. Check that out.
I think that's also because like Kugisaki isn't a one-dimensional character.
No, she's not.
Like when she comes in, she is strong and she does know who she is, but you also see her soften a little bit.
She does. She grows over the season, which I think is wonderful, and I think people grow with that
Yeah,
character.
well, when you see it's not a crack in the veneer of that like strong because she's still strong.
Yeah.
She just softens in the strength,
She-
which
her-
it ultimately is also requires
strength.
a lot of strength.
Yeah,
so it's cool.
Nobara's journey in season 1 is really just about letting people in. She comes in and she's like,
Yeah.
I don't care about these people. They're just gonna be obstacles in my way.
She likes potatoes by the end.
Yeah, French fries, favorite food now. But yeah, I think her journey is about like accepting people into her circle, and she even is echoed in the conversation she and Yuji have at the end of the season, where she's like, I only have so many seats, and then someone like you, Yuji, like just comes in and pulls up a chair, and that's about her like learning to accept people who would come in that she wouldn't have normally had room for in her heart, right? Yeah, that's growth.
Yeah, she's cool.
Beautiful. And KG, so Gojo is a good
Menace, yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
Questionable, but he cares a lot about his students. Like from the movie to the second class to the first class, he cares so much about his students. And how does like that mindset come into play for you when you are voicing this character and you're learning all of the different aspects of him from when he was like younger and adolescent to becoming an adult and now being in charge of adolescents?
If you've seen the show or read the manga, you know Gojo is very, very, very concerned with his students, and it comes from a place of, at least I think, as the guy who voices him and has to spend a lot of time in his head, I feel like his relationship with Geto, right, is a foundational aspect of who he is as a person. Before Geto, before season 1 started, before JJK 0 even, before the infamous KFC incident, shall we say, Gojo was almost a completely different person, right? He had to be convinced by Geto that, maybe you should protect people who are weaker than you. Maybe they're not just annoying folks, maybe that stuff's important, right? I felt he took a lot of life lessons away from, I don't know if it's a spoiler to say I'm just gonna keep calling it the KFC incident, all right? The chicken incident. After the chicken incident, he was a changed man forever. He took a lot of Geto's original ideals with him. And I think a lot of that stuff where he's very concerned with his students comes from that. I think that chicken incident, it's so weird to keep calling it that, taught him to care more as a human being. And I think his relationship with Geto was so important that he will carry it forward for the rest of his life. So if you ask me, like, if his concern and care about the kids are intrinsic to him as a character, I would maybe argue that maybe it wasn't at some point, but certainly as he grew as a person, it got there, and now it's a central point of who he is.
It doesn't mean his teaching skills are perfect.
No.
I wouldn't have him teach STEM, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put him in a
leads-
science
But
class.
he does care. But
He cares,
He leads
yeah.
by example.
Yeah.
That's a way of teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great PE teacher, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, in the
Very
words of Yuji, it's like, will this really make me stronger?
Awesome. All right, so this will be my last question, and then I will hand it off to all of you beautiful people. So all of you have either a passion or a connection to Disney. KG, you did children's software
Yep.
for Disney.
Yep.
Adam, you are the voice of Disney XD presenting it, and you, Annie, you wanted to be a Disney princess, and that is how you got into voice acting.
From your lips to God's ears.
So, that being said, I have a fun request. If the JJ crew was doing the good old early 2000s Disney introduction,
The wand idea?
yeah, the wand, how would that sound?
Oh.
I mean, Adam, you're literally
Yeah,
the
you
voice
need-
of
you
Disney
need to- you need to
XD,
lead us
so
through this.
I think you're gonna need to go first.
So, well, I think we could all do it together.
Oh yeah? Okay.
And it could be something like if you go,
They're planning.
and then we all say like, coming up next on Disney Channel, like at the exact same time. So we say Formation B, and then we're like, coming up next on Disney Channel. And we do the
Sure.
Okay.
All
This is what it would look like if the JJK crew
Yeah.
did a wand ID on the Disney Channel.
Hey kids, it's time for Formation B.
Coming up next on Disney. They hated it.
That was like a 6.5.
That was a 6.5.
Yeah,
we
that's all right.
suck.
We'll work on it. You know.
We need to work it out.
love
We'll
it.
workshop something.
I love it. All right, so now we're going to open the floor for you guys and start our Q&A. If you guys would line up on either side of the mics, and you see my lovely runner is raising her hand, you can also line up in front of her. So as we're setting up, we're gonna go switch. We'll start on our left side, and then we'll go to our right side for questions.
Yeah, I'm getting like sound.
So, okay. So basically, y'all are just going to practice your question to me. I'll just run back and forth. So we're gonna go this side first, that side second.
Is it? Can you ask them to turn up the monitor so we can hear?
We're getting a lot of echo.
Is it possible for tech to turn up the monitors just ever so slightly? We're getting a lot of echo. Testing?
Test.
Hello?
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, we'll make it work.
A little bit better. All right, we're gonna start with our first question right here on our left side.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Hi.
I mean, we can hear you. We just can't hear ourselves. We're hearing ourselves going out instead of coming in.
How's that?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Yeah,
My
that's
question
fine.
is,
That's fine.
if you guys were in the JJK universe, what power or ability would you like?
Ooh, what power would we like if we were in the JJK universe?
Cursed memes is my go-to. Like, I think it'd be very, very effective in 2023 if I could just like, messenger you like a cursed meme and I could defeat you in combat. Like, we're about to fight. I'm like, okay, we're about to fight, right? But hold on, check your phone. End of fight. 1. Bam.
It's like a very Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I would want some kind of like cool physical ability, like I would want to like super parkour or something.
Super parkour?
Yeah, cursed parkour.
Like Spider-Man? Like,
Yeah, but like better.
but better than Spider.
Yeah, he's mid.
Yuri Lowenthal is right
Just
here.
kidding.
You see?
Oh, my bad.
I was gonna say,
He
is
came
that
to
a
the panel?
challenge? Watch your back at him.
Yuri came to the panel?
I want to be able to summon a bed anywhere so I can take a nap everywhere.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that a battle technique? I don't know, but I want that for myself.
That's good. You can rest anywhere.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your work.
All
That
right.
guy was a shield hero.
Nice.
Song. Yeah.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
In preparation for season 2, what sort of voice acting techniques or lessons that you learned from the season 1 dubbing, and how much of your performance do you take from either the Japanese, or do you try to sort of make this character your own? Thank you.
Thank you. Did you guys hear all that? So basically,
I heard the first half.
Yeah. So basically, how do we take like inspiration from the Japanese performances? What have we learned from season 1 that we'll incorporate into season 2? Yeah. I translate. Don't worry. I gave him the question.
Yeah.
Thank
got it,
you.
got it. I think we're all really well studied. The benefit of dubbing something like this is we have a few episodes of the sub usually as reference before we go in, and then when we're actually like in the booths, we're watching the Japanese clips. I think we all try to honor what we see the original actor has done while putting our own spin on things, because we do have to make it our own character. If you just try and imitate like a sound or like an acted moment, it just comes across as very disingenuous. So we kind of like, it's a great jumping off point. It's an inspiration. And I think as far as like in prep for season 2, it's less at this moment, at least for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys, it's less about like doing anything vocally and more about just like being well read and well studied. So like reading the manga, knowing what's coming. And then also, yeah, like I've watched season 1 at this point so many times, but like, making sure that I know where we're at, basically. So.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead, Ann. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. That's basically my answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read the manga and practice in the bathroom. That's how I'm getting ready for season 2. Yeah.
I've taken up carpentry to prepare for season 2. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ann, Adam, Kazi, how are you guys doing? We're glad to have you here, MomoCon 2023.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
As a very passionate fan of the JJK universe, I follow the anime and manga. My question for all of you three is, what is your thought process? And I know most, if not all of you have read the manga at some point. What is your thought process going into season 2 and then beyond season 2, between all of you three?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last part of your question?
Yeah, sure. The last part of my question was, what is y'all's thought process going to season 2 and then beyond the anime?
Okay, well, without spoiling anyone who is
Yeah,
anime
it's rough.
only, like I'm very excited, but I'm also dreading a lot of things. It's going to get very exciting and very stressful, to say the least. But I'm just really excited that we're doing a show that is ongoing while the manga is still ongoing. Like, it's really cool to be able to like kind of see it going as we're going along, like just like following behind it. And so like, and I'm lucky that I have the ability to like keep up with it, so I can see the goal. I can see the goal, and it's coming. And I don't want to reach it because it's gonna make me sad.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't act myself into a box. I want to make sure. I want to make sure I think outside the box. It might take a few years. But
Yeah?
That's where. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you're
where-
dedicated.
Yeah. Very method.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. What's my thought process going into season 2? I mean, as an actor, you don't. It's hard to not like say things like, "I want to do it justice," but that's like actually like kind of detrimental as an actor to have that thought process. Like, you don't want to aim for a target necessarily with a performance, because then you're not like actually like acting. You're not like living it. So I think at this moment, my thought process going into everything is to just make sure I'm well studied so that when moments come up where I can maybe pepper in some nuanced acting that like in like season 5, you'd be like, oh, that's why Yuji said it like that or something like that. Like, I would be prepared to do things like that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. P.S. Gojo's the strongest out there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
What's up, dude?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good.
Great.
So my question is, a little bit of like, so Nobara says she plays Smash. So I would want to know, how would a scenario play out if Nobara entered a Smash tournament and Yuji and Gojo were spectating?
Oh man, they would be cheering her on so loud. They'd be obnoxious about it.
Remind me who we talked about who's Nobara probably would main. You had an idea, right? Because I don't play Smash.
Was it talked about? It looked like you were. It looked like she was playing Jigglypuff, right? Or Jigglypuff or Kirby, one of those.
I don't remember.
One of the pink boys.
Kirby.
Oh, in the flashback.
Kirby.
Oh, I have to reread that character.
It's gotta be
or reread
Kirby.
that chapter.
You think it's Kirby?
It might be Kirby.
Yuji would be like, wow, she's playing a character that looks like me.
Yeah. Right? Oh, man. Yeah, I have a feeling she'd go pretty far, but then, like, she would not be able to win. I don't think she would win a tournament, but she would 100% rage quit. Oh, my God.
She would talk so
She would talk
much
so much
crap.
trash.
Oh my God,
She
there
would
be
talk so big,
much.
and then she would lose so hard.
She would like say something to the opponent, and Gojo would like pop up and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh," and then like disappear into the audience.
It would pan over to Yuji and he'd be like, what happened? But he'd be holding like a ice cream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
popcorn.
He's been at the concession stand this whole
Yeah.
time.
Gojo's dressed up in her skirt again for some reason.
Yeah, it's for good luck.
Just cosplaying her like the
Yeah,
entire
it's
time.
for good luck. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys
See,
so much.
we were cheated out of those arcs. That's what I'm
See?
saying.
See?
Hi. So my question is basically, what are your characters' go-to pizza toppings, and would they eat pineapple on pizza?
Go to pizza.
What's your character's go-to pizza topping, and would they eat pineapple on pizza?
Oh. Okay. Oh,
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I like pineapple, but
So
that's no
Yuji would only eat pineapple on pizza, and it would be Hawaiian, and he would like grab the pieces of ham and he would nibble them so that they had spiky looking hair, so it looked like his face was on the pizza. It'd be so cute. And he'd bring it to you and he'd be like, Kugisaki, I made you some pizza.
I don't want to eat pineapple that's already been in your mouth.
I feel like Gojo would he would have like an obnoxious pizza topping to start out with, right? He'd probably eat something like you have like the pepperoni and cheese, maybe some black olives, like an anchovy, maybe some hot dog slices, right? But if you approached him with like pineapple, right, he'd get super serious, right? Then like he'd take off his blindfold and look at you and be like, "How dare you?" And then he eats his garbage pizza right in front of
Yeah.
you.
I think Novara wants to. She'll always, when they go out, she'll order like the fanciest kinds of toppings. You know, like she'll go for like whatever looks trendy. Is there like if it's like a white pizza that has like potatoes and like basil with like a balsamic drizzle on it, she would order that. Doesn't that sound amazing?
I
No,
want pizza.
sounds itchy. I'm allergic to basil.
Oh, fine.
Are
Okay,
you?
maybe not basil.
Makes me itchy.
But with a balsamic drizzle on it, oh, that sounds really good. Yeah, she'd order like really fancy pizza, but then secretly, like she'd like when the boys order it, like she'd eat that pineapple. She's all about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
This question is for Keiji. I was wondering, when you're playing Gojo and Daze as well, you kind of have to switch from being deadly serious and plot pivotal to ultimate comedic relief, to the point where the audience doesn't really know what's going on inside their head, and maybe they're not supposed to, and how you kind of play that character that not everyone's supposed to know.
Oh, like, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the last part of that question
Oh
one
yeah,
more time?
how you play a character that the audience isn't necessarily supposed to know inside of their head.
Oh, gotcha. Are you talking about this current season when he's in the prison?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Oh, before I answer that, really quick, for Bungo Stray Dogs season 4, I had this whimsical idea that I would keep myself spoiler free for the season, and then I end up in this jail cell, right, for the entirety of the season, and I have no idea what's going on in the story. So every time Dazai's like, "Ah, yes, I figured it out. Aha, obviously this is what's happening," I'm like, "What are you talking about? How did you possibly know?" I have to like ask the directors, like, please tell me what's happening in the story. And she's like, "There's a casino, there's a guy named Sigma, Adam's in it," you know, like stuff like that. Adam's in it. No. Like, I think Dazai is such an interesting character because he's that smart, right? Like, since he is the type of person who could unravel a plot or a synopsis of what's happening just by engaging in conversation in a tertiary, like, in parallel way from what's happening, I think the reason why it really taps into why he's such a lonely guy and why he's kind of like depressed. If you are in this tier of intelligence, it must be so isolating and so just horribly lonely. I can't imagine viewing the world in a way that Dazai does and being able to understand the things he does and not being able to share that connection with more than like one person. You know, maybe Fyodor, you know? Maybe like one other person aside from Fyodor. I think Dazai is probably the most tragically sad character I've ever played. And I wish the best for him, and just a little bit of therapy.
They like sadness.
Yeah, they love sadness over there. They love that stuff. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. What do you think was the most fun experience on the show?
The what experience on the show?
The most fun.
Oh, fun experience on the show.
Oh. Formation B?
Formation B was pretty fun. I mean, obviously, like the real answer is I got to meet these two, and that's been a lot of fun, right? So in real life, that's been the best. But as for the show, there's so many really hilarious moments. I personally, like, aside from Formation B, I loved when Megumi and Gojo were talking about Nobara outside when they were doing their stuff inside the building, and they're like, "Oh man, hope she's crazy enough for this job." Oh yeah, good, she's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the baseball episode. I freaking love the baseball episode. All the little Easter eggs inside of it. All the little fun facts that pop up in the lower third. That whole episode is just.
Yeah, as far as like fun stuff recording, like all of the Yuji Toto interaction was hilarious to me. Just the idea that somebody thinks, like, you know, the whole idea behind Toto's character and how he thinks Yuji and him are best friends and have known each other, and I just think it's hilarious. I haven't even known you since junior high school. So funny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So, as unique as JJK is, I think it's also very referential and pulls from like Naruto and Noragami and Jennifer Lawrence. And so I was wondering if there are other characters or other works that you pull from when you're voicing the characters to sort of bring that to life.
Ooh.
She has some like character references?
Yeah.
We have to talk amongst ourselves to make sure we understood your question because of the weird
Yeah, there's the echo and then there's that. But I think we got the gist of it. I think when I started working on the character of Nobara, like just like from the initial audition, like just looking at that text, I was like, okay, she's kind of a prissy know-it-all, but she seems like she's got something else going on. And I was like, okay, so you can start with like for like a feel, like what are those like archetypes? And I was like, maybe kind of like a Hermione to start with, but not really. And then when I watched the show, like when I watched the first couple episodes of the dub, or the sub, sorry, I was like, oh, okay, it's not quite like that, but at least like the attitude is in there. And then like I, had that first idea plus like seeing what Asami Seto did and like kind of like marrying those two together is like kind of where I had my inspiration for what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Yuji definitely has golden retriever energy. And I have a friend who has a golden retriever that's really dumb. It is like the dumbest dog I've ever met. And it's so sweet though. It is it's like incredibly kind and sweet. And I was like, as we again watched like the first couple episodes of the sub, I'm like, oh, he's just like doing amazing things, but totally oblivious to how amazing it actually is. And we're getting these hints that he is like, super strong and all this stuff. But Yuji is very much golden retriever energy. So again, it's more of like, instead of like pulling references from like, oh, I want him to sound like this character and this character combined, it's more of like the vibe of the character and then just figuring out what comes out. And then we're not just by ourselves, we're working with a director and things like that. So then you kind of just like hone it in. And with any show you'll see this happen. Even like when I was on Star versus the Forces of Evil, if you listen to season 1 Marco Diaz and season 4 Marco Diaz, they sound different. That's because as you live with the character, you kind of hone it in and lock it in. And the same thing happened in JJK. If you listen to us in episodes like 1 and 2, like we really lock in, I think, around like episode 4 and stuff like that. But like even then, as the characters change, you like lock in
with them,
the vibes that you're going for,
For Gojo, it's really interesting. Oh god, what about here? So for Gojo,
here. Do you want this one?
All right, maybe this one. Yay, perfect. Okay. It's still happening a little bit. I have never actually played a character much like Gojo. He's, it's very difficult at first to comprehend, like, okay, here's this guy, and he's never really been physically challenged, right? He's been so good at everything his entire life. He's constantly in control of the situation. There's no one remotely at his tier of power scaling, right? So how does a person like that respond to the world, view things? What is his perspective? And I'm gonna get super nerdy here for a second, but I ended up thinking Satoru Gojo, in Magic the Gathering terms, is a mono blue control player and a deck full of counterspells, and he's never scared.
I'm so mad about that game last night.
He's never scared because nothing could possibly touch him, So I developed this very cool, relaxed, kind of chill vibe for him. Never really that upset. You're never really gonna hear him yell that loud. I mean, we'll see what happens in season 2, but it's at first it's a very difficult concept to get your head around, but it's actually fairly relaxing to act. You know what I mean? There's a lot of animes where I have to go out there and scream my guts out for like 3-4 hours at a time, but it's been very nice with Satoru Gojo. I've never had to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So besides from Jujutsu Kaisen, was there any other roles from either video games or other anime projects that you did that you enjoyed a lot?
Sorry, I think
Sorry, I didn't hear that one.
Besides Jujutsu Kaisen, are there any other animes Are there any other animes that what?
Any other animes or video game roles that you did that you enjoyed doing?
That we enjoyed doing? Ah, cool.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza series, so I was like really honored and privileged to play Ichiban Kasuga in Yakuza Like a Dragon recently. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I've played all of them, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to carry on through the next few games as that guy.
Yeah. I am in a little game called Genshin Impact, and the Raiden Shogun is one of the coolest characters I've ever had the chance to sink my teeth into, and I'm similar to Nobara. I'm blessed to have had the chance to voice her. Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's not anime, but Marco Diaz on Star vs. the Forces of Evil was like a pretty fun job. That series holds a super special place in my heart. It was like my first big like on TV show. I started in that in like 2013. But also I'm really loving voicing Chifuyu in Tokyo Revengers, if anyone watches Tokyo Revengers. And then Jono, just for the simple fact that I got to arrest Keiji.
Dick.
Like, I know. That was cool. So Jono and Bungo Stray Dogs. But yeah, it's been really fun.
One more thing though, I'm a big fighting game guy, and I've somehow, for whatever reason, made it into like a huge swath of them. So like at this point, I'm collecting them. Like I got 2 major ones left to go, 2 more Infinity Stones to put into the gauntlet. But yeah, fighting games for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not to interrupt, but we are on our 10-minute marker, so we're going to start our lightning round. So as you ask questions, make them quick so we can get our quick responses.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a very big fan of all 3 of you. Especially you, Kaiji. You're
Oh, thank
amazing
you.
voice
Thank you.
actor. We
Thank
just
you.
watched Baki last
No problem.
night.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. My question is, how were your reactions to basically the whole Jujutsu, Tokyo versus Kyoto tournament, leading all the way up to when Gojo defeats the cursed spirit with Hollow Purple? What were your reactions to that?
Wait, I think I didn't understand.
What was our reaction to like Kyoto versus Tokyo School, the whole arc ending with Hollow Purple from Gojo?
Yeah.
What do we think about that, basically?
Oh.
I mean, I thought having the baseball tournament instead of like a tournament was such an amazing lampshade of the
Pro
trope.
move. Oh
That
my
was
God.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as fun as like having a tournament arc would have been, I just feel like that kind of workaround just is a lot more whimsical, and it fits the theme of the show way more. And who doesn't love Hollow Purple?
That was so cool.
It was really cool. And when we first recorded Hollow Purple, sorry, it keeps happening. We were trying to fit Hollow Technique Purple into the lip flaps. It just wouldn't work, right? So the Hollow Purple was sort of like a spontaneous like ad lib almost. So like we were like, oh crap, this is never gonna fit into these lip flaps. What do? Hollow Purple, you know? So thank you, lip flaps, for giving us that nice one.
Yeah, I think what I love about that arc is that everybody got a chance to shine. Some of the most iconic lines, some of the most iconic relationships are kind of like coalesced within that arc, and it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, thought it was super cool.
Thank you.
Speed round.
Ready?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello, Gojo.
My question is, if your characters could be in any other anime other than JJK, where would you place them?
Food Wars. I love Food Wars. Food Wars.
I want Nobara to be in a romantic comedy. Can she be in Kaguya-sama?
I think I want Yuji to be in Tokyo Revengers so he can be like, seriously, where are all your parents?
That's what I ask every time I watch that show. Where are the grown-ups? Dang. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Yo.
So no spoilers, but story progression wise from anime to manga, how different do you think JJK is compared to other anime if you've read or seen other anime and read that manga?
How is JJK different from other anime?
Yeah. Basically, how is JJK different from other anime?
Well, like, how different do you think? How different do y'all think it is compared to other anime, like story progression wise, from anime to manga?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Basically, like how different we think it is.
Narratively, it's different from other shonen because like it's very difficult to see into the future of JJK, and I feel like it's been hard to what's the word? It's hard to predict, right?
Yeah.
Shonen generally follows a formula, and JJK, while it has elements of all that formula in it, you cannot look into the next chapter and sort of guess what's going to happen. We've never been able to do that, and I think that's been a very refreshing a thing for any shonen story.
I have,
Adam has. Adam
but I'm
called
not
the
telling.
entire thing.
But I'm not telling.
How dare you?
Speed round, are we good? We just
Yeah.
go to the next one?
Thank y'all.
Thank
I
you.
agree with
Thank
him.
you, thank you.
Hey guys, how y'all do? My question for all three of y'all is, if Gojo locks you guys in a basement with a bunch of movies like he did with Yuji, where do you watch and demand your courage and energy?
What is Gojo watching in the basement? Is that what you're asking?
What?
Gojo or Kaiji?
I'm hearing all the wrong words. Like
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is like so wrong.
Yeah, I'm hard of hearing. What does that mean?
If Gojo does what he did with Yuji and makes him watch a bunch of movies to learn how to manage his cursed energy, what are you guys watching?
Oh, I see. Okay,
Okay.
if Gojo does what he did with Yuji to us.
Oh, what would we
Oh,
do?
What movie
okay,
are we
okay.
watching?
Got it.
It was like if you fell asleep, it punched you. Was that it? Oh.
Yeah. So it's a movie you have to kind of keep like, level emotions.
Oh,
You can't
level
get too
emotions.
Crazy, and you can't fall asleep. I'm just gonna say what my favorite movies are, which is Three Ninjas and Home Alone.
Yeah, those are good ones. Those are good ones
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, and Surf Ninjas.
Ninjas.
And the original live-action Ninja Turtles.
Man.
And Rumble in the Bronx.
What?
And Dragon the Bruce Lee story. And Wizard with Fred Savage.
I don't know if a movie would do it, but he would probably put on like YouTube for me, right? And like, I rail against AI all the time, but like I shamefully watch AI presidents play all the time. So I probably that.
Oh, yeah. He would force me to watch like Fox News. Yeah, and expect me to not like rage out every 3 seconds.
Once Upon a Time in China, 1, 2, and 3. Shaolin versus Ninja.
Thank you, guys.
Shaolin Kids.
Stop.
We are on our 5-minute marker or 4-minute marker.
Hi.
So we'll take 2 more questions.
He's telling me about
They
Shaolin
fall in
Kids.
love with
Sorry.
each other.
Aw.
Jet Li.
So, this one's mainly for Adam.
Oh, bro, you gotta talk loud.
gotta talk
Sorry.
louder.
I'm sorry. Here, this is a little better. All right. So, what would the relationship be between Yuji and Chifuyu if they were in the same universe?
Oh, the relationship between Yuji and Chifuyu, they're both the best boys. Like, they're both good boys. I think they would actually, like, be friends. I don't know what they would do to hang out. It would be something very mellow. Actually, they would probably go get some noodles and just sit in silence together and know that they're the real ones. You know what I mean? Like, they're the loyal friends that have their other friends' backs. And therefore, they would just, like, not even need to talk. They would just eat food and be like, slurping noodles. Yeah, but I think they would get along. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
How are we on time? We almost done? We got a couple more?
2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. We can do one more question.
What is your guys' favorite foods for your characters?
Favorite food?
Food?
For our characters?
I mean, I know canonically he loves mochi, but he loves any sort of sweets, right?
He's a dessert guy.
Yeah, he is totally a dessert guy. Let's see.
Nobara would have one of those like really like elaborate like ice cream with like whipped cream and all the toppings, and then like one of those like chocolate thingies like it's like a straw, and then yeah, like a chocolate stick, and then would have like stuff like hanging off of it. Yeah, it would just be like this. Yeah.
I think pork buns. for Yuji, and they're literally in all of his pockets.
He
Always.
just carries pork buns around with him all
Yeah.
the time.
Ew,
What
he
if-
would find a pork bun like 2 weeks later in his pocket.
Moldy pork bun.
Eat it.
What if Gojo loves trash Halloween candy? What if he loves candy corn?
Oh,
you know?
he does.
He just keeps pockets full of candy corn, like pocket sand almost, but like candy corn.
What a jerk.
I know, right? So disrespectful.
I think candy corn is good.
Awkward.
I do like candy corn. I do like candy corn.
You do?
I do.
Ugh.
Even those little
I can-
pumpkin candies, you know,
can
the pumpkin
only-
candy corns?
No, you can only eat like a couple before it's like, it's too
No, I eat them by the fistful, man. I
Oh.
love them. They taste like sugary wax. Let's go.
You're the strongest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that it? Were we good?
We're at the 29.
Oh, we got.
I guess like one more.
One. Just
Okay,
one.
One more.
It's her first con.
It's my first con.
Hey,
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I-
dressing
I
as
met-
someone from our show.
I,
I'm just kidding, Hawks.
You look great.
Thank you. I met Adam and KG yesterday. You got bookmarks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for my bookmark.
You're welcome. So my question is, the characters you voice, what about them inspires you?
Oh, that's a good question to end on.
I love
Oh, that's
that.
lovely. I hope to one day be as rich as Satoru Gojo. Did you see how casually he gave that lady like 10 million?
Yeah.
Like just like without breaking a sweat. I wish I could do that. Jesus.
Right? What a baller move.
You can.
One day.
You can. Oh, I'm not. I'm not a lady. Okay. Yuji is such a loyal friend, and he's such a good boy. I think that is totally inspiring. He just wants people to have fun, to be safe, to be happy, and yeah, that's it. That's a total inspiration.
Nobara does not care about the patriarchy, and that is the best thing in the whole wide world. I want to be just like her.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, everyone, let's give it up for our lovely panelists.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you
for coming
guys.
to our panel.
That's right.
Thank you all for coming out to the JJK panel this morning, afternoon. I hope you guys have a lovely time at MomoCon. Can't wait to see you again.
You guys come see us at our
Come see
tables. We're
us
down there on
later.
the exhibit floor. Come say hi, okay?
We'll be
Thank
back
you
at
so
our tables
much.
later.